Hello there, Adam Bazalgette here, founder of Scratch Golf Academy. Today let's look at chipping. Let's make it simple, especially for beginners. The technique I'm going to show you I think is very easy. It may not be the most versatile, but it will certainly help you on most chip shots. So the situation where this shot's going to work, you have to have a reasonably good lie. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, relatively close to the green. I may be a little closer than you have to be, and there needs to be some room to roll it out. So let's have a try here. Let's see how we do with that one. Okay, not too bad there. Now, this shot is not really that versatile, so if you're in deep rough or you need to flop it or something, this probably isn't going to work so well for you, but for the majority of your shots around the green, especially if you're a new player, it's going to be great for you. Let's check it out. So what would make one technique maybe simpler than another? What might make it more usable for the average player, especially a beginner? Well, simplicity is the key. The less moving parts, the more repeatable it gets. At the very end of the video, we're going to touch on, we don't want to get too rigid, but the two areas without getting rigid, we want to change. We want less angles, less wrist cock like so, and from this angle less arc to the stroke. If you can reduce those two, which you don't really need those two on a small shot, you are on the way to simplicity. Let's check out the setup. In this case I'm using an 8-iron. That would be its normal lie. I'm going to elevate it so it's more like a putter and lie, and that does a couple of things for me. Simplifies the stroke, but it also allows me to grip it more in the palms of my hands, line the forearms up more with the shaft, which is a great stabilizer, and it allows me also to get the heel off the ground a little bit and stand closer to the ball. Again, more stable wrists, more of a putting type straight back and through sort of a stroke. The heel in the air will cause the ball to come off a little bit more dead, but you'll adjust for that with practice. Okay. In addition to gripping it more like a putter and choking down on it, I want you to crease your arms. Let them fold a little bit. Let your shoulders relax so your arms touch the inside of your rib cage. A normal shot, you'd have your arms extended, but when you extend your arms, you'll probably be farther from the ball. You'll be standing taller, and the taller you stand, the rounder your swing gets. We don't want that. We want something closer to a straight arc. So like a putt, crease your arms, get a little bit more bent over it there, and your stroke will stay on a much straighter line, easier to deliver the ball or deliver the club through the ball. Remember as well, the club, it's really a putting stroke. The club is sitting heel off the ground, so contact isn't going to be absolutely flush on the sweet spot. The ball will come off a little more dead than a traditional chipping style, but just a bit of practice and you'll start to sort out the feel. Nice simple stroke. So a couple of final points. This, although we're trying to make it largely like a putter, has way more loft than a putter, so you still need a little bit of shaft lean. So I would play the ball a little more back in my stance. I like to feel like my upper body is slightly to the left, and that in total gets my hands a little in front of the ball, which makes contact far easier as you go. Now, a couple of other points here. I would use at least two different clubs. As I said earlier, ball tends to come off a little more dead with this chipping style. You'll adjust to it with practice. I like an 8-iron and a pitching wedge, not a putter. It's a fairly distinct difference, and I can sort of pick out which shot that would fit, or which club would fit the shot as it goes. Final thoughts here. Once you've practiced this a bit and it's nice and firm and repeatable, soften up a touch more. Allow for a little tiny bit of play in the wrists as the weight of the club moves, and just give it a little bit more rhythm there, maybe even a tiny bit of knee motion going through. Get a bit of feel in there. Play around with these ideas. They're fairly simple. If you'll get good at this, practice your setup so it's instinctive. This shot is really going to save you strokes. Get those beginners on the right track.